Hi, I'm Jake Lamerno,
And I'm Jaden Youssef.
and welcome to BT Live. Today we have a special guest, Miss Jillian Lloyden. She's a native of Vineland, New Jersey. She was a member of the United States Women's National Team, and she was a member of the 2012 Olympics team.
Hi, and welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you for coming. So to jump right in, do you have any idols that inspired you to be the leader you are today?
Gosh, I think there's so many. Like when I was growing up, I had a lot of different coaches in my life who were really influential, who taught me about character most importantly, and exampled it for me in their regular lives. And I think that with all the coaches and teachers and obviously my family that surrounded me, I had a lot of great role models and influential people in my life who really laid the groundwork of who I wanted to be throughout my soccer career and my life.
Okay, so having so many idols, how do you reflect that same work ethic that they did? And do you find that character and team development skills are important?
So, since retiring from soccer, I have a school. It's called the Keeper Institute, and we work with players, goalkeepers, from ages 8 to professional. And when everyone comes through our door, the first thing I tell them that the most important thing I could ever teach you is about character. And they're like, "What? I thought I came here for goalkeeper training." And my theory is that if you are a great person, then that translates to the soccer field, right? Because 90% of your life, you're a person, you're a human. And 10% of your life, you're playing soccer on the field, right? But if we can instill in you, for example, resilience. So let's say you guys have a test and you don't do well in your test. Let's say you get a D or something. You didn't fail, but you got a D. And we instill in you resilience. That means that, okay, next test, you're not gonna feel bad for yourself. You're gonna study, you're gonna work harder, and you're gonna show like, I'm capable of doing this, and you show resilience, and then you retake the test or you take another test and you do better. If you do that as a student, you'll do that as a soccer player. So if you let in a bad goal on Saturday and then you have a game the next day, okay, I'm gonna show mental resilience, and the next day I'm gonna show up and be concentrated just on that game, then you're gonna do much better, right? So who you are as a person always translates to who you are as a player. If we can help create better people, you're gonna easily become a better goalkeeper. And that has nothing to do with talent. That's the coolest thing. I think in my career, that's something I really relied on is that who I was as a person was always gonna be more important than my performances, right? Because like your performances could go up, it can go down, it can go here and there. But your character can kind of remain the same, and that's your choice, right? And sometimes you don't have necessarily control over how well you do on the field. Like no one wants to drop the ball, right? Like no one wants to get to the touchdown and drop the ball in the end zone. So it's how you bounce back. It's who you are as a person. It's if you make the people around you better every single day. It's if you show up and you're ready to work every day. It is being respectful to those around you and showing humility and grace. And I think when we bring those things to the table every day, we're gonna get better.
And your work ethic allowed you to become a member of the U.S. 2012 Olympics and the national team. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
And can you describe how it was traveling and being so far away from home?
Whew, that was the hardest part. I mean, for most of my career, I was traveling out of a suitcase for 3 weeks of every month, which is like crazy. And I think that was the hardest part, is like not being around the people who helped you get there the most. And when you're at that environment, it's really difficult. Like every single thing that you do matters, whether you're regenerating, like doing some like cool down, or whether you're getting rehab or ice bathing, or what you're putting in your body. And so you're very conscious of every single thing you do. And camp is like you wake up at 7 a.m. and you don't go to bed till 10 p.m. and all day is about treating your body well, doing what your body needs, performing, and it's very mentally fatiguing. So for 3 weeks of every month, that's the kind of rigorous activities your body's going through. So it's really, really, really mentally fatiguing. So I think something that separates like good goalkeepers and good players from great goalkeepers and great players is that mental resilience, because you're playing against the best players every day. I mean, my first camp ever with the national team, I literally was like getting whiplash from picking up balls out of the back of the net because everyone else around me was so much better. And being in that environment every day, and you can either choose to feel bad for yourself and be like, I don't deserve to be here, I'm not good enough, or you can say, wow, I'm chosen to be around some of the best players in the world, and I can get better, or I can sulk and feel bad for myself. And so I think work ethic is just a piece of the puzzle to what helps people get to that level. I think obviously you need work ethic, but there's other more important pieces to the pie that you really need. Because even if you get to that level and you don't have the mental strength to overcome a lot of the adversities, you'll never last. So.
And would you say that you developed a family-like relationship with your former teammates?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're with them 3 weeks of every month. I mean, you're kind of forced to, whether you like them or not. And I think like when you're at the World Cup and when you're at the Olympics, if there's any gaps or there's any kind of space between you, it's easily exploited. And so you need to make sure that you know what motivates your players, like your teammates, what motivates them to be the best in the world, what drives them, what do they love, what's important to them, what are their values. And so for me, I think one of the things that helped me last so long on the team was, I hate to say like you're selfless, but I made sure to like go to every single person and get to know them off the field and create these like great relationships with players, because then I know that I can help them be their best on the field. So if I know what my center backs want, what they need, where they want to go, what their ambitions are, I can help them get there, and I can speak to them in a way that will help them get there, right? So instead of like yelling at someone because they made a mistake, I can say, hey, I need you to do this, because that's what's going to make our team better. So I think making relationships with your teammates is the most important thing. And at the end of the day, like no matter how long you play sports, whether it's like 30 years or what, it's always going to end, and it's always kind of short. And so what remains is those relationships after.
And with that being said, are you still in contact with any of your former teammates?
Oh yeah, a bunch of them. And a bunch of them still play, and I'm so excited for them. After they won the World Cup this summer, I was hysterically crying because I was just so happy for them. I know how much work it takes to get there, and then how much work it takes to actually win. And I'm just so proud of them and happy for them. And it's amazing to see what they've all done and changing the world. And even some of my teammates who don't play anymore, like Abby Wambach, she's gone on to do all these incredible, amazing things that are changing people's lives, and it's just incredible to see.
Okay, so I know that you retired from soccer in 2014, and then a few years later you came back as an assistant for one of your former teams.
Yeah.
But since then, what have you been doing?
Oh gosh, a little of everything. So one of the reasons I did retire was to start my nonprofit organization. Unfortunately, my sister passed away in 2012 of domestic violence, and so one of my main purposes with my life and my platform as a professional soccer player is to leverage that influence to tell my sister's story and to help impact other people's lives, so that people don't have to succumb to some of the abusive tendencies. And so I help spread her message, and it's really, really powerful message. And I kind of tell people about my soccer career and get them engaged and have laughs, and then I tell them about my sister. And I think everyone knows a person like my sister, and so we can all kind of identify like how important that person was to me, and how losing that person really changed my life, and how easy it is to be ignorant to domestic violence issues. So I get to do that on a regular basis, which is like my heart's passion, and I think gives me a real purpose in this life. And I also started a school called the Keeper Institute, and I get to work with kids who are 8 years old to professional goalkeepers. And to me, obviously, helping them become a better goalkeeper is important, but I think to set them up for success for the rest of their lives is even more important. Because when you're a young person in high school, even in college, you're really laying the groundwork for who you ultimately want to be, right? And like, we don't always get it right. You guys are in high school, you don't always get it right. I'm old, I don't always get it right. But every day, if we can try to strive to be better, that's what it's about. And so helping young people and affecting the world for them to do greater things than I've ever done is really what my heart, what I'm passionate about.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in today, Jill. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
No problem. I'm Jake Lamerno.
And I'm Jaden Youssef.
And thanks for watching BT Live.